iOS 18 is a massive update. There's a lot of massive changes, a lot of small redesigns that basically superpower your iPhone, and it's also free. So, all right, let's get started jumping over to Control Center, and as you can see, it's been completely redesigned. First off, you've got different panels that are fully customizable, a music one, a basic display for all of your controls, and you can customize or add as many as you want. And the best thing about the new redesigned Control Center is this right here, because if you actually tap on the plus, you'll actually be able to customize the actual control. This will let you actually make an actual toggle larger or smaller. There's basically 3 different variations. There's the circle, there's this longer one, and then there's this massive toggle right here. And not only that, there's actually now a new add control. So if you tap that, you'll get a bunch of different toggles that you can add to Control Center. From screen recording, from translate, from low power mode, all that stuff. You've got the camera, the clock, connectivity, display and brightness, home. There's a bunch of stuff. Now I'm gonna be making an entire video on how you can actually make your Control Center really useful. So subscribe if you're interested in that, because there's so many different things that you can do with it, especially with this, because you can actually add shortcuts to your Control Center. So the possibilities on what you can do inside of Control Center are pretty much endless. You can even add an open app, so you can actually, I don't know, you can open up your email of choice for work, or you can open up Twitter directly from the Control Center. So it's pretty much endless of what you can do inside of here. Also new in Control Center is this right here. We now get a power off button. So if you actually hold that, this UI will pop up, and if you slide, as we all know, it will power off our iPhone. This is actually more useful than you think, because if you actually hold these 2 buttons right here, well, it will let you turn off your iPhone. But what if either of these buttons don't actually work? Well, now you can simply do like this, do like that, and it will show it just like that. Since we're talking about Control Center, if you tap on the flashlight, as you can see, first off, it now lives inside of the dynamic island. So if you actually hold, you'll get this insanely beautiful UI that actually has a hidden feature, which is super cool. If you actually do like this, it will actually change the width of the actual flashlight itself. And if you turn it down, it will actually turn up or turn down the brightness. It is super cool the way that it looks, and you know, the entire community is saying that Apple didn't have to go this hard with the flashlight. I mean, come on. It's probably the best feature in iOS 18. I'm kidding. There's obviously a lot more to come, but seriously, it looks amazing. Apple, good job. Now, while we're talking about personalization, the flashlight and the camera icon in the lock screen was never actually customizable, but now you can actually tap customize right here, tap on lock screen, and as you can see, we can now customize. We can now delete the flashlight. You can now, if you don't want anything, you can have a super clean look. But what's awesome is you can actually customize whatever shows up in there. So you can actually have quick action. So maybe maybe you want to turn on airplane mode really quick. What I love is having the home app right there, but you can also add shortcuts in here. So you can make it really, really useful. This is also new. You can ping your watch. So if you're constantly losing your watch, which I don't know if you lose your watch all the time, you can quickly do that. So the customization that the lock screen gives you is super, super cool. Now, while we're talking about customization, you can now customize your home screen like crazy with iOS 18. You can tap on the customize button right here. You can tap that. As you can see, we get 4 different options. You can switch between automatic, and check this out. You can now tint all of your apps in dark mode, which looks absolutely amazing. And the best thing about this is, as you can see, these are all third-party apps, but what iOS 18 will do is actually tint those apps as well. So you can see, sometimes it does it better than the others. For example, Instagram doesn't do a good job, but whenever it sees white, it will simply turn it black. So for icons like YouTube and Revolut and Kernel, for example, that has white in their logos, it looks amazing. I absolutely love the way that this looks, but it doesn't just end there. Let's tap on customize again. You can turn on light mode as we all know it, and this right here, you can actually tint your icons for the first time. As you can see, you can now tint all of your colors. Now, this has brought a lot of controversy within our community. A lot of people don't like this, but I've actually found a way on how you can actually make it a lot nicer. And that's the color picker, because the best way that this feature actually works is actually grabbing a color from the wallpaper itself. So let's grab this blue right here. And as you can see, it looks a lot better than just the standard colors, because it's actually matching your wallpaper. This is a different wallpaper that looks amazing. For example, let's grab this gold. And as you can see, you have a very clean look. It doesn't only end there as well with customization. Let's tap on customize, and we now get a small and large. Check this out. it will get rid of all the text in all the apps, the app names, and it will make them larger. Look at how good it actually looks with the light and dark mode, for example. I love the way that this looks. This is currently the setup that I have right now with our Keep On Moving wallpaper, which if you're interested in this wallpaper, it's obviously linked down below in the description if you want to help support the channel. Look how clean, look how good this looks. I mean, come on. iOS 18 also lets you lock apps on your iPhone. So as you can see, require Face ID. So if someone wants to open up my YouTube analytics, for example, require Face ID, it will now recognize my screen, which by the way is now new using the dynamic island. And now if I want to open up, it will require Face ID. So I'm the only person that could potentially open up this app, or you can just use my password. This is great for apps that are kind of private, like banking stuff or analytics stuff in your business. Maybe you have kids and you don't want your kids going in your business stuff or in important things and you don't want it to mess up. There's a lot of really useful use cases for this. Users have been asking for this for a very long time, and it's very easy to do. You just tap this, and that's it. You can also now turn apps into widgets right here. So it gives you 3 different options: app, small widget, and large widget. So using the kernel app, I can automatically, as you can see, create different widgets. If you're not familiar with the kernel widget, let's say you're excited about the new Deadpool film, you can tap on this widget right here and you can count down. As you can see, it's coming out in 5 days. You can count down for your favorite upcoming film. Links in the description if you want to download kernel. Now, in terms of privacy, there is now a new hidden apps folder in your app library. Now, nobody will actually be able to see what's inside of here unless you use Face ID right there, and it will show you all the apps that you have hidden inside of there. It will ask you for Face ID not only to open the folder, but also to open the actual app itself. I've just got this game just for demonstration purposes. I'm sure a lot of people will be using this for dating apps. You know, maybe they don't want their employees to know that they're on Tinder because they're embarrassed on being on Tinder, which, you know, you can do whatever you want, but maybe you're embarrassed on having a certain app, or maybe you don't want anyone to have. I mean, we all deserve privacy, right? You can now hide everything inside of a folder. Now, while we were talking about widgets, Apple has actually added a couple new widgets. The Journal app now gets widgets. You get 3 different ones: a new entry, a small and a large one, and a streak. HomeKit also gets a new electricity usage. So you can actually get an idea on how your home electricity usage is directly from your home screen. And Apple Health also now gets widgets with Overnight Vitals, which is a brand new feature in watchOS 11, which if you want to know everything that's new in watchOS 11, I made an entire video about it. But you'll actually be able to see your overnight vitals or your weekly vital summary. A lot of people are really happy about this new change. So if you're actually playing music, let me go ahead and turn that down, and you open up the camera app and you start recording video, you'll still be able to record video even though music is actually playing. If you use the calendar app on your iPhone, you're gonna be really happy about these new features. First off, you've got this new viewing mode, which is called the new compact one. So you can actually see these dots to see how busy your day is. They're stacked, so you can see a little bit more specifically how busy your day is, and my personal favorite, details. So just like on the iPad, so you can actually see what's inside of that day, so you don't actually have to keep going inside of that day to actually find out what's going on. So 3 different ones, or you've got list view as well, which is the one that we've always had on the iPhone. But compact, stacked, and details, these new views are brand new, and man, details, I am super happy about this new change. This new feature I'm also obsessed with: events and reminders. Yes, now Apple Calendar and Apple Reminders works together, which is super cool. So you can actually now add reminders. As you can see, it's not showing me. You can actually add a reminder inside of your calendar. This is something that everyone was asking for, including me. So you can type in "call John." You can add a couple notes. Tell him about the meeting, for example. The date, you can add the date. You can add a specific time. You can add a specific list inside of your reminders in the reminder app, but it's now built into calendar. Let's tap add, and as you can see, I've now created a new reminder. Let's tap on list, and there you go. Call John. That's now inside of my calendar. I can mark it as done, and it will flow inside of the reminders app and inside of the calendar app. It all works together, and I'm so happy. iMessage also gets a lot of new features. One that Android has had for a very long time is this right here: send later. So you can now program an actual iMessage. Let's say I want to send this today at 7 o'clock. I can now do that. I can now pick the time. For example, let's send it at 5 or at 3:30, for example. So as easy as simply typing in hello, there you go, send later. This iMessage will be sending at 3:30. It's very easy the way that it works. Something else that's new is this right here. There is now text effects. So you can actually have different text effects. For example, this big one that goes big, it goes smaller, it shakes, it explodes, it ripples. I'm kind of confused why Apple didn't include the effects like within this. Like I'm kind of confused on what the difference is between these guys, the screen effects, and now this right here. I feel like Apple should just merge everything together. I understand that the difference is, I understand that these are only text, and the difference with this is that the actual bubble actually shrink is, and this is the screen. But I just don't get why everything is not unified. I'm just confused about that. It's still cool. I haven't used it a lot, to be honest, but it's still cool. It looks like this, and you know, it will just do that. Apart from this sick keep on moving wallpaper, which once again, links down below if you want to get it, there is now new wallpaper. So if you tap this right here and you scroll down to iOS 18 right here, there is now a couple new wallpapers. So let's go ahead and tap on that. These are the new iOS 18. There's now this new dynamic, which basically merges all of them into one. So you can see it's changing color, which looks sick. There's now this yellow one, there's this pink, there's this blue, and there's this purple. And all of them obviously have different dark mode versions. This is the blue, this is the pink, and then this is the yellow. Make sure that whenever you're using the dark mode wallpaper, you also customize it within the dark mode icons. I mean, come on, this looks pretty good. Apple Maps has also had a slight update, especially if you love hiking. For example, I'm currently in the Hollywood sign hike. By the way, look how good the Hollywood sign looks in Apple Maps. Anyways, let's say you wanted to go through the Hollywood sign hike. You can now plan your hike, create your own walking route from here. You can tap that, and it will give you different route options. And it will show you, tap the map to add points to your route. So you can be like, okay, I wanna go through here. That's the end point. You can actually reverse it, the closed loop. It will show you the elevation, the kilometers. You can actually save that route, or it will actually give you different directions. We also get a brand new app in iOS 18, and that is the new Passwords app. It works with Face ID, obviously. And it's basically iCloud keychain that we've always had on Safari, the way that it autofills all of our passwords, but it's now actually in an app. It will store all of your security codes, your Wi-Fi, your pass keys, and basically all of your passwords from all of your sites. So if you don't remember a specific password, you can just jump on the Passwords app and tap that, show Face ID, and it will show you your password. It's pretty great the way that it works. You can also add a new password. It also works on Apple Vision Pro. It also works on your Mac. It's great. I love the new changes that Apple has also done to the Settings app, because it's been slightly redesigned and it's now more organized into blocks. So basic notification sounds and haptics, it's all here. There's like different blocks and it's just easier to understand. And now the app section, you can't just scroll infinitely. There's now a dedicated app section. So if you tap that, all the settings from all your apps will be inside of here. And then each setting individually, let's say Disney Plus, for example, you'll actually be able to change all that settings inside of here. So in terms of notifications, for example, before you would have to go to the dedicated notification place and then find Disney Plus. And then inside of each app, you can just customize everything, which is extremely useful. If you tap on general, this has also been slightly redesigned, about, software updates, iPhone storage, the basics. It's just a lot cleaner and easier to understand. And each and every single one of the pages will have like this. Basically, it will let you know what each and one of those settings are. I'm sure this will be very useful for adults that are not as familiar with tech as we are, so they'll be able to find things way easier. Something very weird that Apple has done is this, the new iCloud page redesign. I mean, it looks great, but I don't know about this. The subscriber iCloud logo thing doesn't feel very Apple-ish. I mean, looks good, but it just doesn't feel Apple with like a plus sign, iCloud plus sign. I don't know. What do you think about it? If you love the background noise feature that Apple released a while back that basically lets you play different sounds, for studying, for falling asleep, a lot of people love it. Two things. One, the UI of this menu has been slightly redesigned, and two, there are now 2 new sound effects. I believe the new ones are night and fire. This is the fire one. I'm getting hot already. And this is the new night sound effect. Apple has released a ton of new accessibility features. Now, this probably deserves an entire video by itself. First off, you can actually control your phone with your eye, which is crazy. I mean, for people who have disabilities, it's like game changing. If you don't have a disability, I highly encourage you to actually test it out, because it literally feels like Apple Vision Pro. And it lets you interact with your, sorry, I can't focus. I'm trying to look at the dots. It basically just asks you to look at the dots, and then you can control your iPhone with your eyes. It's crazy the way that it works. There is also now sound recognition, so your iPhone will actually recognize depending on what sound. This is really useful, especially for Apple CarPlay. I mean, if you have a disability, this is amazing by itself, so you can actually notify whenever, you know, a dog is barking, whenever a door knocks. I mean, this is game changing also for accessibility. For Apple CarPlay, it's amazing because if someone honks on you, you. Your CarPlay will actually display it for you. We've actually just posted all the new features inside of Apple CarPlay, so if you want to watch that, obviously links down below in the description as well. There's tons of new features that I'm sure you're gonna love. There's also now live captions, there's music haptics, which is crazy, so check this out. You can actually feel the music because haptics are actually now vibrating. Like my phone is now vibrating to the music. It's so cool the way that it works. If you want me to make an entire video about all the new accessibility features, let me know in the comments. If you go inside of motion and tap on vehicle motion cues, make sure to turn this on because it's mind-blowing the way that it works. It basically tricks your brain. If you get car sick, this will change your life. Because the way that you get car sick is basically the car is moving and your phone isn't, right? Because that's when your brain starts to be dizzy because it just doesn't find the right horizon. But with vehicle motion cues, it will basically display these little dots on your iPhone and it will trick your brain thinking that your iPhone is also moving with the car. And I've tested it out. I personally get car sick and it works so well. The Photos app has been totally redesigned and there's so many features to talk about. First off, the actual library is now on the top, and now when you go to the bottom, it will show you all the rest. Before it was all organized in albums, but now it's just kind of organized in a way much more different way. But now when you scroll to the bottom, you're gonna get everything that you expect. A lot of people have been criticizing this redesign. I just feel like people have to get used to it. I'm kind of getting used to it slowly. A brand new feature is recent days. So if you actually tap on that, it will actually give you a tiny summary of last Friday, of last Saturday. So let's tap on Monday, for example, on my trip to Greece, and I can actually tap on movie and it will actually create a movie with music of my trip to Greece. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So yeah, that was my trip to Greece. If you scroll down, people and pets, pin collections, memories, we've had that, but trips is also brand new. It will organize it with years, so if you wanna find a specific trip that you've actually done, now you don't actually have to add it with an album manually, it will do it all automatically for you. So for example, on my trip to the Alps, I can tap on movie and it will also create a movie of your trip. Once again, you can filter it out by years. It works surprisingly well. Now you've got your albums right here, your shared albums, featured photos, and this is brand new. First off, wallpaper suggestions. So it will automatically use AI to create stunning wallpapers for your iPhone, like this one. And then media types, we've had this in the past, but utilities, we've got a couple new features inside of here. Receipts. Yes, using AI, it will automatically analyze all of your receipts. I mean, if you have a business and you have expenses, you're gonna want to keep your receipts. So AI automatically doing all of that for you is amazing. I mean, look at that. All of my receipts, it's so useful to have it all in here. And the best thing about it is that if you actually take a photo of a receipt, it won't be messy with all your photos. Your screenshots won't be all in here. In your actual photo library now, it will filter all of that stuff out. And the end result to that is amazing. You've also now got a new search. Using AI, it will be like, okay, show me photos of Sunnyvale during the summer. And it will automatically do all of that for me. Let's say, you know, I don't want Sunnyvale, but I want photos of my summer in, I don't know, let's put Rome in the summer. Boom. Automatically, all the photos that I've taken in Rome during the summer, it will do that. So it will actually give you different suggestions. For example, dinner with Bibbins, dinner with my grandma, for example, and it will show you all the different photos that I've taken with my grandma eating dinner. It's super cool. You can use it with people, locations, and using AI, it will grab all the photos that you've taken with your grandma eating dinner. It's amazing. If you tap on an actual photo, for example, this photo of me and Chenya, there's now a new edit button. And if you actually tap crop, there's a couple new features over here as well. First off, you've now got a new wallpaper option, so you can actually create stunning wallpapers within the exact aspect ratio of your iPhone. It will do that. There is now a new auto. So as you can see, there's now a lock. So you can unlock the lock and you can get a specific aspect ratio that you want. Then lock it, and then as you can see, the aspect ratio is now locked, which is very handy. If you have an iPhone 15 Pro or iPhone 15 Pro Max, there's now new updates to the action button, because first off, you can now add your controls, your favorite controls, as a trigger for your action button. Let's tap on that. So you can see, you can tap the action button and your alarm will open. You can tap the action and your airplane mode will turn on. Open up the home app, open up music, open up notes, open up the remote, ping my watch, for example. So there's a lot of different utilities. This was obviously available before via shortcuts, but you had to do that manually. But now Apple is giving us the flexibility to do it all natively. And also now, this is brand new. You can now use Shazam in order for your accent button, so you can quickly recognize a song. Obviously before this was available, but it wasn't available natively. But now there is a specific toggle for that. Talking about the dynamic island, if you now start a timer, for example, let's start a timer for 30 seconds and you swipe up, now it will actually use the dynamic island for your timers, which is super useful. If you actually hold that, you can actually cancel the timer just like that. Let's jump over to the activity app because it's been totally redesigned as well, and it's actually customizable because if you actually tap on edit summary, you can actually add different toggles, different info. For example, if you want to add your sessions that you've done, your last session or your previous sessions, you can do that. You can add your recent workouts for cycling, running, all your words, your friends, their trends, the training load, Fitness Plus, all that stuff. The way that I've customized it is have my Fitness Plus workouts right here, the step count, which is something that I always love to see, and my activity rank. It's very nice that you can customize this a lot better now. A small little UI change that I'm obsessed with is this right here. Check this out. Do you see whenever I'm pressing the button, the wallpaper kind of like swifts? It's like you're smashing the actual iPhone. It does it the same with the power button as well. It works with all buttons, including the accent button, as you can see. It's so cool. It's like, this is why Apple is Apple, with these little changes that isn't it cool? Reading mode in Safari is now better than ever. If you tap that and tap on show reader, the customization inside of reading mode is way simpler. You can actually change the colors of the actual background, you can change the actual typeface of the article so it's easier to read. You can also listen to the page, so it will actually read it for you.
Mac, iPhone, iPad and Vision Pro feature in latest.
So if you want to work or something, it can actually read the article for you. Now, you've probably heard the new calculator app on the iPad, but did you know that Math Notes has also changed inside of the iPhone as well? So you can manually write down, and it will actually give you the result. Now, this can even make graphs. It's pretty cool the way that it works on the iPad, but it also works exactly the same on the iPhone. It's amazing. Apart from Math Notes, you've also got a scientific calculator on the iPhone now. Before you had to make it landscape, but now it's all here. And you've also now got a history of calculations. As you can see, I just recently did this calculation, 92 divided by 4. There you go. And now shows me that. Inside of Apple Notes, you can now actually attach an audio. Hey, this is a note from my lecture. Just imagine I'm a student, right? And I'm listening to my teacher, and the teacher's speaking way too fast, and I can just simply record that, or whatever you want. Maybe it's a personal note for yourself. It's pretty cool. And that will automatically save inside of your Apple Notes. Now, in terms of Apple Music, there's not that many changes. If you tap this list view right here, these icons are now easier to tap. If you tap this, you can actually view the credits of the actual author in a way much more improved way. You can obviously tap on the lyrics, but especially this, the performing artist and everybody that was involved with composition and lyric, production and engineering. You basically get everyone that has been involved with the album or with the song itself. I'm sure iOS 18 has tons more features that I haven't even mentioned. So let me know in the comments if I missed any. If you want to discover everything that's new with iOS 18 for your iPhone for Apple CarPlay, you can tap this video right here for watchOS, or you can just subscribe. Okay, thank you for watching, and thank you for sticking with me for such a long video. Bye-bye.